I never thought that music would be my career choice. I had to work to get food on my plate. I worked as a bartender, I worked as a waitress, I worked as a mobile SIM card seller. My daughter's birth brought me again into the path of music. There is no end of hoping and there's no end of dreaming. My parents passed away in between. I never thought that I would come back home and I would feel that home is where I belong. Amar hat bandhibi pa bandhibi mon bandhibi kemone. Hello, I'm Sahana Bajpaie. I teach at SOAS University of London. I teach Bengali Language and Literature there. And I also happen to be a musician. I sing Rabindranath songs and Bengali songs for a long time now. So I essentially juggle two careers, if I may call them careers. And I'm very, very happy and honored to be here today at my Canvas talk. And today I will tell you the story of my life. I was brought up in Shantiniketan and music surrounded us there. My parents were very keen listeners of music, as well as Shantiniketan has music in its environment. So there was no escape from music whatsoever, especially Rabindranath's music. And we also had the Bauls of Birbhum living around us, singing their own songs, the folk songs, the Baul songs. So we grew up in such an environment where music was inescapable. And I, as a little girl, never wanted to be a musician. I always wanted to follow my parents' footsteps. I wanted to become a professor, a teacher. And that was my career choice from the beginning of my life, because I saw my parents in this very respectable, dignified position of being professors of political science. I did not want to do political science. I always wanted to study English and English literature. While we were growing up, we were also at those times listening to different kinds of music that was happening in the city, in Kolkata. Shumanda started singing, Anjan Dutta, Nachiketa, and Shilajit. They were writing their own songs and they were singing their own songs. At the same time, we heard Swapan Basu bringing out folk songs. And we were hugely inspired by this whole singer-songwriter scenario that was happening. So a bunch of friends, we thought we'll also write songs. We were in our teens then, and we started writing and making songs out of them. So this is how my interest in independent singing and songwriting started. I did not compose the songs, but I was writing songs at a very early age when I was 15. But still, I never thought that music would be my career choice. And I did my master's in English literature from Bishwabhati University in Shantiniketan. And I went to Bangladesh right after my master's, and I started teaching there in a school and then in a university. And it so happened that the surroundings there in Bangladesh made me inspired to sing more and be more inclined towards Bangla Bhasha, the Bengali language, Bangla Gan. And in 2007, my first CD was brought out in Bangladesh, which was called Notun Kore Pabo Bole, which was Rabindranath songs with the accompaniment was different. It was mostly Western instruments that were used, fused with Eastern instruments. And at that point of time, I still was a teacher. I was teaching in Brack University, and I did not sort of, ever thought that this album is going to take me somewhere that I did not think I would go. But at that right moment when this album became very, very, it was celebrated by youngsters, people started listening to Rabindra Sangeet again. Loads of people came to me and said, we have started listening to Rabindra Sangeet. It was put on us when we were kids, but your songs have made us listen to it. It felt very nice. And right at that moment, I got an opportunity in 2008 to go and study at School of Oriental African Studies, Oriental and African Studies in the University of London. So at the height of, something like a height of becoming a musician, a singer, I left the scene. I left the scene also because I thought that at that point of time, there was a lot of social stigma attached to the kind of life I was living. So I thought I would leave everything behind and I'll go to London and I'll start my life afresh. So did I. I went to London. All I had was my tuition fees. I had to fend for my living and food there. So I started doing my master's in South Asian Studies in SOAS, which was studies about my own country and the countries surrounding us, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And I did history and politics and literature of these areas in my master's degree. And at the same time, I was doing odd jobs. So that was the first time in my life that I faced so-called, struggle to just be. First of all, it was cold and raining all the time. Secondly, I had to work to get food on my plate. It was not easy. It was very, very difficult. I worked as a bartender. I worked as a waitress. I worked as a mobile SIM card seller. I stood in front of a tube station, a metro station, for 6 hours at a stretch working for minimum wage. Just to have rajma chawal and sometimes maybe meat. So this 1 year passed by studying, and music was far behind me. I stopped singing from 2008. I thought that, that life is gone. But from 2009, recession hit in Europe. Everyone was losing jobs, and we just graduated. And we couldn't find jobs, so again I started doing odd jobs here and there. Singing and music was far behind me. And my daughter was born in 2012 by the time I had started to teach in SOAS. And after my daughter was born, I started singing to her. And one evening I felt that, music has not left me. It had held my hand all through and had supported me. So I would rather start singing again. And I think my daughter's birth brought me again into the path of music. And I found a band in Kolkata. I found a few friends who were very, very interested to do music with me. And I started singing again. So what I learned through all of this was what we learn and what we are also able to forget and what we are also able to unlearn. And every experience that I had enriched me in every way. Maybe there were heartbreaks involved, maybe there were scarcity of, very comfortable life, was involved. Nothing of that was there, but what was there was a passion for what I love the most, and it was music. And music brought me back again so that I could start singing again. What I want to tell you today is this is the story of my life, and the gist of it would be that there is no end of hoping and there's no end of dreaming. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you are placed, whether you want to be an artist, whether you want to be anything else, there are immense opportunities. You just have to invest yourself as much as you can and passionately follow the path. And there will be people who will come and help you if you're earnest enough. And in this world, the world that we are living now with the pandemic and its repercussions all over the world, has left us with this immense sense of complete listlessness. And I think that this too shall pass. This is what I believe in. And, good days will come back again. And our ways of thinking, our ways of belonging in the world will again be stabilized. So there is no point in feeling hopeless in anything. If I could do it, you could do it too. I never thought that I would be someone who would do my own grocery shopping, who would do my own cooking, who would give myself my own bed tea for years on end, but I did. I had my parents passed away in between. I never thought that I would come back home and I would feel that home is where I belong, but now I do that when my parents have passed away. But I still, with a lot of dreams, a lot of hope, look forward to what I have and look forward to a world, what we leave for our children, which I think is very important. And that comes from home. Little things like don't put your trash in the bin and not on the roadside. Little things like this makes the world a better place. And, with a lot of passion, with a lot of love, if you follow your dreams, it will come true. Not necessarily would you know that what you want to do now, maybe you want to be an engineer, or maybe you want to just live your life working in a corporate office, or you want to be an RJ or a DJ. Maybe you don't know that, but the more you grow up, the more life experience you have, you'll understand right where you belong. And some of us don't belong anywhere. They wander around the world, they leave home very early. I left home when I was 21 to a different world, to a different country, and then from there on to another different country. I didn't know anything, but it was good to challenge myself. It was grand to challenge myself to be somewhere where I don't know anyone, and I'll make a life for myself. So this is my earnest request to all of you. The point of my talk today is to inspire all of you to be better human beings for now and for the children that will come. Thank you very much for giving me this platform today, my Canvas talk. I'm very, very grateful and thankful for this opportunity. And I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors, all of you who are watching me. And, sing your song whenever you want to. And there are people who would listen. I would like to end my talk with a song that I called a song of freedom. I hope we can sing this song, all of us, together. Amar hat bandhibi, pa bandhibi, mon bandhibi kemone. Amar chokh bandhibi, mukh bandhibi, poran bandhibi kemone. Amar hat bandhibi, pa bandhibi, mon bandhibi kemone. Amar chokh bandhibi, mukh bandhibi, poran bandhibi